fellow commissioners, we're now at the applications portion of the meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
before we begin on the next part of the onslaught where we're going to be voting on it, I'd like to say one thing. The question has come up to me several times lately that as commissioners, do we have the authority to vote down a Buoy application? I feel that we need to answer this question just so we're doing this thing right, and we need to get a second opinion on this. And then also along with that, I think brings up another question. When we receive an application, is it considered as public record? I've been understand people have requested to look at it and been turned down. With all these in mind, I would like to make a motion that we table this application until we determine that we know what we're doing as far as what we can do.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to table the current application in order to seek. Are you suggesting legal counsel?
Yes, we need a second opinion.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second to table?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. So further discussion.
Billy, I think that I'm the new guy on the block here, and based on the comments I've heard tonight, even though I've lived here in Bell on the Lake ever since it was built, I think they were all very valid. I think some of them made a lot of sense, and I'll agree with the pause and the fact that we need to maybe look at a long-term solution to what we've been putting, I guess, Band-Aids on. So I fully support the pause.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to chime in here because when I was the new guy, Rick, this question just come up in the previous chairman. Go back to chairman, and there was a lot of discussion and debate and falling on swords and so forth about the process being flawed. And Michael, as the chairman of the Buoy committee, had a group last year that went, and we all agreed, and we did take a pause. He took a group and went back through the process and came back with the recommendation that no significant changes were required. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, if I misstated.
That's correct.
Okay. So we have reviewed it just within the last couple of years, the process itself. And as for being transparent, I can kind of see that point that we post the act perhaps. However, the application, the ONSRUD was presented during the meeting in the public. It is in the minutes, which are available. In fact, it's a video of the actual meeting, including that presentation by Mr. ONSRUD, is out there on the public record right now. So the other question that Danny asked is, can we vote it down? And I'm not sure exactly what your intent was there, Danny.
I want to interject here. I don't think that any commissioners are insinuating that this application would be voted down. I just want to be clear there. I think that Commissioner Ettinger is just asking the question. It's been presented before. And is that correct, Commissioner Ettinger?
Yes, if I voted down, am I illegal, basically?
Well, okay, and that's what I was that's where I was going with it.
And I'd like to see a second opinion on this.
Because when I came on the commission, I think it was John Gerke or Morris, both of them gave me a very comprehensive packet of material, including what the laws are around the Lake Norman Marine Commission. And we are a state chartered organization, legally bound to follow our processes. So
what does that mean?
Express a lot of opinions and so forth, but if we have a process, my opinion, and the way I understand reading that legal document that was given to me, if people follow a process in our books and they meet all the requirements, then our personal opinions go a little bit out the window, a lot out the window. We have to follow our process.
And I think that's the issue. That indicates that there is no commissioner discretion at all. It's like a bank taking in a credit report. This is not a good comparison, but and then being able to not being able to deny. I just think that the commissioners should have a high level of discretion in approving these buoys or disapproving these buoys. I think that if an application is an application, and that to me says we're putting this forth to the commissioners to be considered. And so I think it's a great question to be asked. And I understand that the commission has operated in a certain way over decades, but I think that Commissioner Ettinger asks a valid question. Is
Just
Go ahead.
because we've done it a certain way for years doesn't mean it's right. It's just,
I would agree. In fact,
we've
a
accepted it.
motion to take a time out and get legal counsel to answer this once.
Absolutely. I think that's right. And again, this is no insinuation as to whether we would approve or disapprove the current application in question, which is why I think Commissioner Ettinger made the motion to table it until we take a step back and seek legal counsel on those two issues. One is, do we have the authority to deny an application that is complete? And two, is that application public record? I totally understand, Commissioner Scott, what you're saying, and that the presentation is made and the meeting before that the application is to be considered. But what information is it that the public is seeking? Is it the police reports? We don't talk about those. Those police reports are, some of them are just a report of the officer going out to talk with the resident who is complaining and just saying that, yeah, they reported that someone on a jet ski came by or a boat by my dock. And to me, that is flawed. So I appreciate Commissioner Hughes' work on the No Wake Buoy Committee, and maybe it's something we need to revisit. I mean, we've had a lot of great issues, a lot of great public input that has come forth, and we have the greatest amount of public participation on the Lake Norman with regard to the Lake Norman Marine Commission meetings and the information that we're receiving and the public comment. And so I do think that it's time to take a step back and reassess everything in a very serious and with a fine comb matter. And
with that said, I'd like to call a question on the motion.
Chairman Wilson, I've got a quick question.
Commissioner Ettinger, will you give the floor? You made the motion. Will you withdraw that for just a moment?
I'll withdraw it. Mr. Howard, go ahead.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Being new, and I have questions on this, and I listened to the prior commissioner, Bill Young. Obviously, he was on for 5 years or more. I'm certain that with the passion I saw coming from him, he's been addressing this for 5 years or more. My concern is, if what I'm hearing is right, why would it even come before us for a vote if we only can vote aye?
Absolutely. That's the issue.
Why do it?
Why even have the Lake Norman? Why do we even have it come on come before the table if our vote doesn't matter? And I think
making sense.
That we need to change. We have to change the culture of the Lake Norman Marine Commission, because we cannot approve every buoy request, or there would be buoys in every cove. That is the bottom line here. And it's something that we have been misled to believe, in my opinion, that we have to approve every buoy application that comes before us. That's the
way I've always taken it. People approach me, you got to vote for it.
Absolutely. Why? There is no, and with that philosophy, there is no reason to have commissioners even dealing with the no wake buoy applications. And there was the argument that WRC, who back in the day used to handle it, and then when the Lake Norman Marine Commission, the duty was handed over to the Lake Norman Marine Commission, and we started handling it, and buoys are all over the place, unapproved, approved, and they just keep piling up. And we're really not even sure of whether we can approve or disapprove a buoy in the first place. So that legal opinion will matter so much moving
Right.
with this Lake Norman Marine Commission.
How many times did you hear them mention tonight about illegal buoys? How'd they get there, you know? How many people talked about it tonight? Sure.
And I know that a long time ago before the Marine Commission, some buoys may have been approved, maybe by the state, that there's no record of, that we're not sure whether they were approved or not. And I've had a lot of people this week contact me over the unapproved buoys. Well, the problem with taking them out is two things. One, the expense of pulling them out. And two, do we know if they were approved or not? Because there's no record of the previous actions taken by, and I'm not knocking the state, but there's no record out there of those. So if we go pulling out buoys, but yeah, they may have been approved, we don't know, then that gets into a gray area where there has to be a solution to this problem. And if that means, it's frustrating. We hear the public speaking out and your voice is loud and we are listening to it. And we need to come up with a solution to deal with all of these problems.
With that said, I'll again call a question on the motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. Ettinger, can I make a couple of comments from a historical perspective?
Yes, sir.
I know in the past there has been some discussion about approving buoy applications. I will tell you that there have been buoy applications that have come before the commission that were complete and they were not approved. We had one last year. And
Yes, there were, but that's the commissioners taking it upon themselves to say enough is enough, and this may not apply to, that's commissioners taking discretion despite the advice that we've had from whoever it may be, previous admin. You know, that is the issue.
Well, all I'm saying is that the commissioners, in my opinion, have the discretion to approve or disapprove a buoy application.
That's your opinion, Morris. That's your opinion. I want an official opinion from a lawyer.
Was that the philosophy of previous administrations?
That I can't say, Billy. I don't know if it was or not.
I've
been on the commission since I've been.
Love you to death, Morris, but we need an official opinion.
I've been around since an administration before you, and that was the culture before where we are now. And I'm not saying that this commission is totally anti-buoy. As you can see, the last buoy application where we placed the ATON north of the 150 bridge, the request asked for 5 buoys, but yet we took the whole area into consideration and decided that we would place an ATON because it was very appropriate, thanks to Commissioner Scott for that recommendation to place the ATON. But it covered most of the, or addressed most of the issue except for one particular area. And we approved 1 buoy. And then that is commissioners considering a very complex situation where on Lake Norman, it's one of the most drastic turns on the lake in the main channel. It goes from south to north, and we addressed it and we placed that buoy. So that's yes. To answer your question, the commission has approved buoys in the past. Is that because we were rogue and just decided to go against the culture and approve buoys because, you know, we want to do what's right for the lakefront. We want to do what's right. I can attest that the current commissioners, the majority of the commissioners, are about lake boating safety, promoting recreation, and protecting the homeowners. And that is our duty. Operating under questionable circumstances and questionable things, questioning our authority is not the way a commission should operate. It is not. There needs to be some clarity as to our legal authority to approve buoys or disapprove it. That's the bottom line.
I think we've beat this up enough. Let's go ahead and vote.
Okay.
Can
All right.
you restate the motion, please?
Yes, I make a motion that we table both the I keep forgetting, Onstrad buoy, and in favor of getting a legal opinion, second opinion, somebody that we haven't been using, and settle it, and then we go ahead and move on.
But
We need to get our path straight.
What's the scope of the legal opinion? You talked about our authority. Do you also want to have him review the current process?
Mind well, let's do it. It's going to cost us money, but what the heck?
Sorry.
I'm not happy with the legal opinion we've been getting from whoever our attorney is. I never did know who it was, never met him.
Well, I think that the process, the application itself, as I mentioned earlier, has issues such as law enforcement. Law enforcement reports are just reports of a homeowner, and I get that law enforcement resources are very short. You know, they're strained, and they can't be out to observe every violation of the no wake law ordinance. But that part of the no wake buoy application could use some work, and I just don't know if the attorney. We can ask him about it. We can surely ask him about it. But if we do, that is a point I would like to bring forth to the attorney: is a property owner's testament good enough for what we're looking for and requiring? Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Just clarify that motion. Commissioner Ettinger, will you please repeat that motion?
I make a motion that we table the Unsrod buoy tonight in favor of determining where we're at, what authority we do have to make these decisions, and also the issue of the public record. Is it a public record or not, the application?
Okay. All right. Commissioners, can I get a second?
I second the motion.
There was a second from Commissioner Hughes.
Correct.
Okay. We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Scott.
Aye.
Commissioner Howard.
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes.
Aye.
Commissioner Ettinger.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay. Moving on.